From Brianna Buckmaster and her unfettered charm to the classy stylings of Miss Samantha Smith. Who, I believe you hail from this state. Aren't you a Texan? Or from New Jersey? You're one of the two.
Have you met me?
Yeah.
My husband's from Texas.
Yes, it is. I knew you had somebody. Your husband. You're from Jersey.
She's like, I was in Texas before. Like, that's what it is. That's what I mean.
Her son is half Texan.
It's true.
Because I've got that.
It's true.
I should change it to, isn't Wyatt from around here?
These parts?
These parts.
Except that he's pretty Californian.
He could not be more Californian.
Yeah, he's pretty Californian.
Yeah.
But his name is very Texan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we had
which is
Surfer Wyatt.
Right. Yeah, he's in Texas right now, actually, doing the whole ranch thing, driving tractors. And
oh wow.
Fishing.
Just like his mom did when she was a kid. That's right. Those New Jersey farms.
I used to drive a tractor lawnmower at our house. That was my job. I had to mow the lawn. It's true.
Yeah.
I didn't push the mower. I rode on the mower.
Yeah.
It was a push mower. Somebody was pushing it.
Correct.
And you stood upon it.
I sat
And
on
pointed.
it. Faster.
That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, Samantha Smith.
Boy. They always leave. I don't know. Oh my God, I can't see a thing. I'm also not that tall. I'm going to break this now. Hi, Dallas. So, didn't spare any heat for us, did you? Holy crap, I almost died when I was a kid. I literally almost died when I got off the plane yesterday. I was like, I thought I was like standing in the heat vent from the plane. I was like, I need to just, still. I'm sure you've never heard that before. It's hot here. News. Has anyone been watching season 14? Did anything happen?
No.
Can you break it to me easy?
We love you.
I love you bad. Surprise. I'm in a billion pieces. I know. But apparently I'm happy, so whatever. And I got the coolest door in heaven.
True.
Did anybody see it?
Yeah.
They sent me a picture from the set, and it was the episode after I was done. And they sent it. And I'm sitting at the breakfast table, I think, or lunch, or whatever, with my husband, and I look at him, and I just start crying. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why. I knew this was coming. I didn't know they were going to do the door. I also didn't know, until I watched the episode, those sneaks, the initials on the table. I didn't know that was coming. And I didn't know there was the video montage. None of that shit was in the script. And when I went to go do looping, you know what looping is, the ADR? Looping is when there's noise or they don't get a clear, does somebody say no? Yeah. Okay, so looping is when you have to re-record the dialogue. It's like a video game. You have to like match your mouth while you're talking. A lot of times, like on the day on set, if there's like screaming, you kind of half do it or just mouth it because you don't want to wreck your voice. So you'll have to go do that in looping later or whatever. So you just have to do it the one time instead of like for take after take. So I had to go. You have to do it for almost every episode because somebody dropped a boom or there's ducks or whatever. So they have to re-record the sound. Or my jacket would be muffly, or my necklace would be jingling, whatever. A million reasons. Or I mumbled. So I got to see I saw the video, the photo montage, because they wanted to show me. I did my dialogue, and they're like, "Oh, show her the end, show her the end." I'm like, "Oh God, what's happening?" And then it just made me cry, you know. And then the initials weren't in there until the end. I was like, got me. And then people were mad. They're like, "Why is it Cass in there?" I'm like, "Come on, you guys." He's still on the show.
And he's not a Winchester.
And he's the CW is the network, not his initial. He could like have his own table. I don't know. Nothing against Castiel. I love Castiel. And Misha. Oh, is that person sitting on the floor? Hi. Oh, I was like, is she okay? Oh my God, you go all the way back there. These are the brightest lights I've ever encountered in life. I'm like, it's not like I can really see that far anyway. But anyway, is there anyone with a question? Oh, there are some people. Hi.
Hi. So my question is, hunter journals are very important, and obviously, you know, John Chester has one. But I was ever wondering if Mary ever kept one at any point in time during her hunting career, both either before or after she died and then came back.
I doubt it. I don't know the answer to that. I would assume we would have, unless she hid it somewhere, because no one ever knew she was a hunter, right? And I think that after she came back, she used John's journal, but Mary doesn't seem like a note-keeping kind of girl.
Okay.
Did that come from over here, or did it come from the speaker?
Hi.
I'm so confused. Oh my God. What happened to the person I was talking to? Did she leave? Okay, thank you. Oh my God. I'm so directionally challenged right now.
Hi.
I see you there, but the sound's coming from over here.
It's not you, there's an echo.
Oh my God.
Hi. My name's Samantha.
Oh, hi. I remember you.
Hi. Yeah. We did photo. What was your favorite memory on set this year?
Oh, so many, but I think probably the filming the 300. It was a lot. It was fun. It had big feels. We laughed a lot. There was a lot of people there. It was fun. It was fun. It felt like we were doing something big. You know what I mean? I know it's just, you know, the little show that could, and we're still on, and it was a big deal for all of us, but it felt bigger somehow. I don't know why. It just did. Maybe because all four of us were there, which was weird and awesome, but strange. Because we'd never all four worked together. You know, I'd worked with Jeff in the pilot, and I met the boys back then, but I didn't work with them until later in that first season. So all four of us on there just felt kind of right, but weird. And we all kept crying. So I think that was it, that whole experience. But there's lots of close seconds. Like being in the murder van with Mark Pellegrino, that was pretty fun. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. Would Mary forgive Jack?
Yes. Listen, Jack is a 2-year-old having a tantrum. And didn't he use his soul to save everyone?
Yeah.
You know, it was an accident. He felt really bad. But essentially, like, there was a lot of feedback after the explosion. She asked for it. He was saying, "Leave me alone. You don't, you know." When a 2-year-old's like, "Leave me alone," do you know? You're like, "Cut the shit. I'm sending you to your room. I'm taking away your big wheel." And she was parenting him. She parented herself to death, as it happens. Mommed herself right into non-existence. But I think that she's his mom essentially too, you know. I'll have to duke it out with Courtney tomorrow, but killed her too, by the way. As I always tell Alex, nice work. But yes, I think she would definitely forgive him. Don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen him? You're like, oh, it's okay. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I just want to know how you doing, what you've been up to lately.
I've been chilling at home, getting to be home a lot more. Because, you know, well, it's hiatus anyway. But looking for work. I've been doing a lot of like mom stuff around the house. I've been sewing, and, like reorganizing the pantry. I got a new car.
What'd you get?
Another of the same exact thing I had. It's my third one. I have a Ford Explorer. I love it. I hated the last one though. So I had a white one for 3 years, turned it in, got a gray one. I'm like, this dark metallic gray is cool. And I love the color. And it's the second time I've had a gray truck. And I hated the last one too. I don't know why I did it again. My husband has a dark gray, like that metallic charcoal, you know, it's really pretty. And I get it. I love them. And everyone can feel differently, but when I finally realized I drive it and I felt like I was driving a boy's car. Something about it, I don't know why. I can have silver, I can have white, I had black cars for a long time, just maybe because it's my husband's car's car. I don't know. I just never liked it. I hate this car. Stupid. So I turned it in early and paid them a bunch of money to get a white one. Because I'm SMRT. So that. I got 2 new dogs. Because that's what I needed. I had 2.
What breed?
Jerks. One is, see, I had a little like 3-pound Yorkie, and she was my spirit animal. She died about 5 years ago. She was 16. She was sorry, anyone else who has a dog, she was the cutest that has ever lived. And she was just tiny, and she would go in my purse everywhere, and like restaurants would be like, waitress, and she'd go in. Like, it was amazing. And I mean, you'd throw sticks in the river or the pool, and she'd swim after them. She'd be like, she was amazing. But so my son was going to break her when he was little, so we got, my aunt has a dog rescue up north, and she does Australian Shepherds, but she also pulls what she calls pocket dogs whenever she finds them, because they're so easy to place. And she got like a 5 or 6 pound Yorkie, which was less breakable than my 3-pound one. So we drove up to go get him. His name was Henry, and he promptly bit all of us, including my son. I'm like, look, if you reach, and he reaches and he bit his hand, and he goes, why did you make her do that? So, mom panic, pet finders, I'm like, pick any dog you want, we can't have this one. So he picked a little terrier. We renamed her Henry with an IE, because the other Henry we couldn't have. And now she does nothing but pee in the house and bark. With that thing that you're just like, she's so cute, but oh my God. So we had her, and then we were driving, about 5 years ago, we were driving to a barbecue in LA. It was like 105 degrees, and this all black like cockapoo was like going down the sidewalk, lost, about to go into this crazy intersection. And I went over to get her, and if anyone's tried to rescue a dog you see running on the sidewalk like lost, almost all the time they'll run from you, and you have to, you know, trap them with bacon and a lasso and like, some police. And she looked at me and just laid on her back. She's like, please help me. And I was like, okay. She's only like 25 pounds, but she looked like 50 because she had so much fur. She has like twice the amount of fur of any dog I've ever seen in my life. So we had those 2. And they plot every day how to wreck my day. They're gonna chew up trash, they're gonna pee on my son's bed. They're gonna like, make me insane. And so, this is turning into such a long story. The rescue that we got Henry from, I should be holding a grudge. She's like, oh, she's just spirited. I'm like, she's an asshole. Anyway, I still love this woman, and she's a cop. And the rescue's called Ghetto, and Ghetto Rescue Foundation, because it's made only up of police, fire, and ambulance personnel, and they only get dogs that they find on the street. They've started to pull them from shelters when they're there for other reasons or whatever, but most, 99% of them come from off the street. And they posted a picture of this little tiny dog, like 4 pounds, they found running down the street, covered in fur. Yes, she had fur. Covered in fleas, starving, and she's in the corner like I'll mess you up, stay away from me. And I was like, she's my new spirit animal. And I couldn't have her because there was like a laundry list of detectives in line waiting to have her. And they would post pictures of her in the drawer in the precinct. And she's so cute, she's got huge ears, she looks like a bat. And I wanted her so badly, but I'm not there. You don't cross a detective, I'm taking your dog. Like, you don't do that. It's stupid. So my husband's like, well, let's tell her we'll foster a little dog. So, like in 2 days, we have this new dog, and she's like so scared. She had just been pulled from a hoarder who had 65 dogs. 65. And this one was not, it was a favorite but to pick on by the one pit bull they had. So she pulled her, and now we have her. Her name's Junebug, and she only likes me. She's like my shadow. Anytime my son walks by the room, she's like, arr. And my husband, she's like, if you give me a treat, I will look at you, otherwise stay the fuck away. And for me, she's like, she does the craziest thing when she's happy. She arches her back and puts both her feet out like this and drags herself like a mermaid. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So we've had this dog for 3 days. She's turned her house upside down. She's so nervous. And the little dog with the ears comes up for adoption. Because Tammy, who runs the rescue, is like, you detectives are never at home. This dog wants to be held 24/7, you can't have her. And I was like, and a day and a half later, she was mine. We now have 4. Junebug is still up for adoption. I don't think anyone answered. She's rehabilitated. As long as you're female. And not a child. And she prefers other dogs. Oh my God, that was like 15 minutes. Hi. So did she leave? She gave up on me. She went away. Oh, you're still here. Oh, good. Thank you for your patience. I don't even remember what the question. Oh, what have I been doing? Dogs. Dogs is what I've been doing. And you can see Tulip has her own Instagram. It's called Her Grace Tulip, and you'll recognize her from her ears. She's super cute, and she runs the show. My husband's like, what? I can't put her down. She doesn't like it. Me and my son and my husband, we all fight over who gets to hold her. I'm like, I think this is probably I think we're creating a monster. She's at home right now with a pet sitter, and he's like, she won't eat. Oh, she's in my lap, it's fine. Yeah, it's okay. She's so cute. Are you on Instagram? Could you die? You give her whatever she wants. You can't say no. See? All right, 1, 2, 3. Aww. I know. I'll bring her to a con one time, maybe. She can be my little. Okay. Am I good? Is it tulip? Okay. Hi.
My question is, do you have a party trick, and if so, what is it?
God, I'm the worst. You saw me trying to dance when the band was playing. It looked like I was going to fall down. Party trick. No, but I make a mean old-fashioned. Bourbon. No, do you?
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm double jointed in both my elbows.
Okay, I will take your word for it. I don't have anything even remotely fun like that. I can't balance it. I can put a spoon on my nose.
That'll do.
Yeah. It's one trick, really. One trick pony. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, how are you? I've always loved Mary Winchester so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful and competent and kind of a badass, which I love so much. What's been your favorite thing about playing Mary?
I think how tough she is, emotionally and physically. Like, one of my favorite moments, it was so quick, it was in season 13 where we're in the AU and the angels have invaded Bobby's camp. And we run back to try to save the children. Save the children. And the angel comes down and wants to know where Jack is. And I know he's behind me, and I turn around with my gun, because that's going to work. Maybe I had angel killing bullets, I don't know, but it seemed to be a bullet attempt. And he knocked the gun out of my hand, and then I go to try to fight him. And he punched me in the face, and I go flying back into like 5 inches of mud on the ground. So gross. I literally had to change my clothes a couple times that day because I was like, I was freezing and I was drenched. It was awful. Hilarious, but gross. And I got to stand up, and I don't normally have like those Clint Eastwood lines. But he punched me and I'm all bleeding. And he's like, where is he? Stupid angel voice, right? They all have like mean angel voice, right? And I was like, go to hell. Which I got to smile. And I just was like, oh, I'm bleeding, and I'm like, bring it. Like, when in life do you get to do that? You go, God, it's so real. I don't know. She's fearless, really. And that's the only thing. I look back, there's one episode in season 12 with the the Prince of Hell with the stolen colt and all that. And I kind of have this look on my face that I'm scared the whole time. And I was going for surprised because these things kept happening. And I realized after, I'm like, she's not surprised or scared of anything. Watching it, I was like, that doesn't happen again. Because even if she's surprised, like, we've seen it all, right? We adapt. And you can be surprised for a second, but I was going to be surprised for 42 minutes. So I was like, and I decided then that she's not going to be scared ever again. Unless it's for someone else. And so yeah, I mean, I'd never punched anything in my life before season 12 of Supernatural. And I made a great effort to not actually punch anything. It didn't always work. Aim and all that. But yeah, it was the toughness of her. I think. Thank you. I had caffeine today, so I'm like, we're getting a lot of words. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering, when you were growing up, did you always want to be an actress, or did you consider other careers, and if so, what were they?
I originally wanted to be an architect. When I can remember, like 7th, 8th grade. And I went on an architecture, not an internship, but like a trip to an architecture firm. After like many years of drawing houses and elevations and doing all this stuff, just at home because I liked it, planning. And they're like, yeah, you need to do X and Y math classes and so many years of school. And I was like, no. So that was a very abrupt end to that dream. And I always said, like, oh, I never really wanted to be an actress. It wasn't really something I was pursuing. It didn't start till I was like, my first job, I think I was 26. And but I'd been modeling and doing commercials. And then I remember that as a child, I would always make like plays and magic shows. And of course, I was always the princess in the plays. I was Cinderella or whatever. And I'd put invitations in all the neighbors' mailboxes, and I'd make all the kids be like the different parts. And we'd put on these really badly produced plays in my backyard. I'm like, I was doing that even then. I'm like, no, I never wanted to act. I know, it didn't interest me at all. But I didn't really think about it until around 1995. I did a commercial. I did a lot of that. That was like, to me, not acting for some reason. But I had dialogue. And at the end of it, I was like, that was fun. Let's do that. And then about a year later, I got my first job, which was crazy. It was on Seinfeld. Try that for a first job. Not nerve-wracking at all. I was like, talk about looking scared the whole time. I had no idea what I was doing. We didn't do it in front of a live audience, so it was called block and shoot, like the way you do most shows. But sitcoms, you usually rehearse for a week and then shoot live. And we didn't do that. They're like, ready, go. I'm like, oh. So they had to help me a little bit. And they were a very nice bunch, but yeah. So no. Anything other than that? No, never wanted, like, no, like, I wanted to be a doctor or a professional tennis player or, no. No. Super boring. What about you? What do you do for a living, and is it what you wanted to do?
I'm a nurse, and yes, it's what I was born to do.
Greatest admiration, honestly. I mean, you're not only like providing medical care, but you're also providing comfort. It's an amazing profession. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What you do.
Not the same. We provide entertainment for the people you're taking care of in the hospital. That's about as far as it goes. There's a little overlap there, maybe. Hi.
Hi. Okay. So my question is, who is your favorite person to film scenes with?
On this show, I'm presuming you mean. It's going to sound like a diplomatic answer, but like all of them for different reasons. I never got to really do anything with Ruth. Literally, the only scene we ever appeared in together was when I came back from the AU and I walked by her and we were like, and that was it. I got to film with Brianna finally at the end of season 14, and that was a hoot. And anything I got to do with Kim Rhodes, of course. And then I didn't get to work often with Misha, but when I did, it's amazing, and he's so present, and Alex, I'm gonna keep him put in my back pocket. And the Jays. I mean, very different. My scenes, like my personal relationship with them are very different than my character's relationships with each of them too. So there's all different things that I love from each person. It's a little more challenging when there's more than one of them together. That's less favorite. Not that it's not fun and hilarious, but it takes longer. And there's a lot of laughing and a lot of airing out the car. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't have this like, oh, hands down, this person. I mean, honestly, there's different things from each. Like there was a scene in 300th with me and Jared where he's telling me that John has to go back and I'm crying, and he's just so like, his emotions are on the outside of his body, you know, but like any good like action scene with Jensen where we're like running in somewhere or fighting or whatever, like it's just different things, you know, and they all bring it. They're all present, they're all amazing actors. I feel like I got such a gift to be able to be entrenched in that even for a few years. It was really a good experience. That's it. We need to start a letter writing campaign. I'm kidding. Please don't. They'll be like, what did you do? I'm actually very satisfied with the way Mary's story ended. It's sad. It was going to end soon anyway. And it was like a big, clean, meaningful finish. So please don't get me. Thank you.
Hi. So my question is, if you could be any animal, what animal would you be? And you can choose things that aren't real, like dragons or narwhals. That was a joke, in case somebody didn't get it.
A narwhal?
Because narwhals are real.
Narwhal. Oh. They are real, right? Yeah. Yeah. You know why I know that? Because when my son was a child, a younger child, like when they do like those alphabet books of animals, there's no N's. There's no N's. There's no X's either. So they have to do like an X-ray fish. And the N was always a narwhal. I mean, can you think of another animal that starts with N? I think there's one. Huh? Yeah, that's about it. So I knew a narwhal. I'm like, ooh, that looks like a weird dolphin. I love dragons. I think I'd like to have a dragon. I don't think I'd like to be a dragon. I think I'd like to be a direwolf. Yeah. That's what I'd like. See if I can make that happen. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. So my question is actually my best friend's question, but she's too nervous to come ask.
What? Where is she? She does not sound shy.
I don't know what the problem was, but I was happy to help.
Now she's complaining.
So in addition to our love for Supernatural, we are also huge Walking Dead fans.
Right?
And she wants to know...
What is that?
She wants to know what it was like to kiss Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Not awful. I mean, honestly, it is really awkward to kiss anyone on a set with all these people watching you, particularly that you're not romantically involved with. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird thing to do.
You're doing it wrong.
But he made it very comfortable, and it was like very, it's gonna sound stupid, it's very professional, and we like talked about we have to turn this way, and I turned the wrong way, he's like, what are you doing? I'm having to kiss you, who I've met like twice, and Jensen and Jared are like, I'm like, can you just... And then, you know, there's the 40 crew members in the room watching, and then like the other 50 watching on the monitors. I'm like, yeah, no bigs. So, I mean, you know, I'm very sorry. We had to do it like 10 times. But if I had to share an awkward stage kiss with anyone, I'm glad it was Jeff. Here we go.
Hi. Hi. I met you in Rhode Island. I was crying and you gave me a hug. You were really sweet. So, I was wondering...
I'm glad you've recovered.
I have, thank you. I'm trying hard to hold it together right now.
You're good.
So, I was wondering how Mary would deal with Chuck's annoying Chuckness.
Carefully, I think. He's not the one that brought her back. Might rub that in a little bit. What do you got to say about this now? And he did offer to bring Mary back, but as like a bargaining chip or something, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. I think that she would deal with him the way she deals with everyone. Like, you're annoying, I'm not having it. Like she did with Lucifer. She wasn't, I mean, she had respect for Lucifer's power, but she was like, you're stupid. The same way with Crowley, she's like, don't touch me. She's not having it. And I think that with God, it would be the same. She'd be like, oh, you need reparenting. Doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Feel like that.
And brothering.
Any of it. Just like, stop being a jerk.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. So I was wondering what you, as an actress, thought of Mary leaving the boys right when she gets back. Like right when Mara brings her back.
Right. After, it was like the third episode. Because she had just rescued a child who was a ghost, and his mom missed him, and like there was a lot of subtext there. And mind you, when she died, she was still like a secret hunter, right? Or very recently had been a secret hunter, and she's powerful and force of nature and fearless. And now, because the boys aren't used to having her around, they're like, "Are you okay? Maybe you should stay here." And she's just like, "Listen." And yet at the same time, there's like these boys that she doesn't know, right? So to be honest, when I first read the script, I was like, "Oh no!" But I don't know if that was me as an actress being like, "They're firing me already. Where am I going?" Or if I knew everyone was going to hate it. But essentially, my relationship with Mary is that I understand her, I love her, everyone is imperfect, and she's doing the best she can. And she knew, what I made it about is that she knew she could not be present for her boys in this state. She needed to get it together, and what she felt she needed was to be alone and figure shit out. I mean, so she went on in that episode, she went on a mission to save this little ghost, and it turned out that he wasn't the problem, it was that powerful one, and she got possessed and almost killed her 2 boys. She's like, okay, I'm a, what's it called when you're a weakness and you're causing danger? You're a liability, exactly, thank you. I used to have a brain, it was nice. So she's a liability, and so while the through line for Mary is that she has to do what she thinks is right, not what's popular. Working with the men of letters was not popular, but in her mind, she's like, they have a system to eradicate these things, and my kids can have a normal life. We can be done. They're not going to like it, so I'm not going to tell them right away. But it's the best thing. And I think the same thing goes with that. She's like, they don't want me to go, and I don't want to go, but I need to go. And I will come back. And she did. So I supported the choice, I understood it, which is why when she came back a few episodes later at the Asa Fox funeral, she wasn't like, oh, so she's like, hey, I'm so happy to see you. And they're like, rah, rah, rah. She's like, okay. But we worked it out. We went and had bacon and breakfast. So yeah, I understood why people were upset, because it upset the boys, but they're grown men, they deal. And she came back stronger at home. Ish. Did you hate it? Were you mad at her?
I had mixed feelings. I thought it was a little selfish, but I also understood like needing space to get your head right. I don't know. Like I had mixed feelings. Like I ultimately I think I was like I didn't really like it, but I also understood it.
Right. And that's the thing, like, humans are complicated and selfish. And, you know, make weird choices sometimes. But in retrospect, kind of we're like, well, that's what was supposed to happen. So, Mary couldn't be like the perpetual backseat passenger. Like, where are we going today, guys? Got my machete, let's go. So, she just caused conflict from the day she arrived, didn't she? Yeah, starting with like twisting Dean's arm off and face planting him in the grass. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I wanted to ask you, do you know why Ketch wasn't at your memorial service? And what do you think his reaction is going to be to your death?
Devastated. I don't think Ketch ever really got over Mary. I think she slipped through the cracks of like his psychoses or whatever it was, and he became fixated, right? From the beginning. Don't you remember there's an episode where he's like sneaking around stealing pictures and stuff? Yeah. Psycho. I think he wasn't at the memorial because David wasn't in that episode. And isn't he off with Charlie hunting or something? Because Charlie wasn't in either. Or Rowena. What the hell, man? You can write a letter about that. I think that's literally the only reason. And who would have thought Ketch would survive us all? I shot the guy in the face. In his back. And I couldn't even survive the little Nephilim tantrum. I'm gonna break this again. So that's what I think. I think that he's now in a mourning period. Or maybe he'll be the one to figure out how to bring me back. I'm not coming back. Oh. All right. Anyway, thank you. Hi.
What episode of Supernatural means a lot to you?
I tend to focus on the last 3 seasons because she was such a real person. I did really love, I think it's What Is and What Should Never Be. Back when Dean was hypnotized by the genie, the djinn. Because it was such a picture of what a normal life might have been. And I think that was the first time I was really able to play Mary like as a non-floaty, on fire, ghosty thing. And it was a little bit of a challenge. I mean, both of us were having a little bit of a hard time trying to make it normal. Like, this is normal. It's like, it's not normal. It's like, I'm your mom, okay? But the scenes were really touching and normal. Does that make sense? It was just like talking about mowing the lawn and making sandwiches, and it just was so, bizarre and surreal. But I also really loved my last episode, where I got to do all those flashbacks. And I got to, they made her the most Mary she's ever been, I felt like. She was, still had an edge. She's teaching knife tricks, but being like a mom, but still authentically who she was. So I enjoyed that as well. My goodbye, they really gave, I think there's people coming.
They're having a party back there.
Boy voices, I know, honestly. Rude. Thank you. Okay, I think this, maybe one more question, maybe 2. Talk fast.
Okay. All right. So we're both from New Jersey.
Woo.
So I was wondering what's your favorite thing about the state? Or favorite memory?
Do you still live there?
God, no.
Okay, then I don't live there anymore. I don't have anybody left in Jersey. My parents have left, and all my friends have moved away. But I did love growing up there. It was like safe and beautiful, close to the city, kind of idyllic, I don't actually harbor any resentment or dislike for the state. I've lived in cities now since I was 17, and the idea of living like where I grew up just doesn't suit me anymore, But I mean, I look back at all my life. I lived there from like 3 or 4 until I was 17. And great, like the green and the trees, and we had our neighbor had cows, and I learned to drive and zipping around all the freeways and the big movie theaters and the best shopping malls in New Jersey. Oh my God, I think. They probably have them everywhere, but Garden State Plaza, are you kidding me? See, she's like, I'm picturing saying Garden State Plaza. So yeah, they're coming. That's it.
We heard them.
I did. I knew they were there. I felt their presence. Thank you, guys. Do we have a quick time to answer one more quick question? All right, one more quick question.
Hi. In the episode 300, when the whole family's sitting at the dinner table, what are y'all actually talking about? Because all we hear is music, but it looks like a great conversation.
Oh my God. So we had the crying part, right? We're all like sullen. And then we just decided, then in the script we had to be enjoying and grateful. And we were kind of being nice and trying to smile and stuff. And Bob, the director, was like, we need you to let go and laugh and have fun. And that went from like 2 to 11. And they're throwing food, and there's like salad in the air, and Jared's telling every stupid joke he knows. And I'm trying not to laugh just because they're being so ridiculous. So Jeff is a little bit like, what is happening? And Bob comes in and he's like, okay, we're not delirious now. Can we just dial it up a little from like devastated? So there was some of the laughing and stuff, but we were just, I don't even remember what it was. It was still a lot of jokes, just no more throwing bread rolls and salad. We had a whole conversation about whether or not Sam and Dean would drink wine. We're like, we're having a grown-up dinner, put your napkin on your lap. Elbows off the table. So yeah, it was just, we were actually talking as us, not as the characters. And I was trying not to like spit food from laughing. I was like, I don't think it's appropriate, we're still sad. So, anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, from right here in New Jersey, Texas, Sam Smith. Yeah. Robbie? Richard? It's corn, not a clock, mofo. Time you get out here and get your corn on. Shove some corn in that hole of yours. Your mouth. Oh, come on. Don't make it weird. You. It's the best day. He's never had. Stephen Norton, everybody, on the drums. This is